Hey folks, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and please hit like. And I'm wearing my new Black Shark Razor version 3, I believe, headphones. And they're really, really cool. And I'm hoping the audio is a bit better with these on. I'm not sure. I do have a mic that I normally use. But today, what I want to do is actually look at this Illinois pocket watch. It says Illinois Central, probably Central for a train station, but it is, I believe, a railroad grade pocket watch. And I want to look at this pocket watch and look at its baseline signal with a time grapher and actually use AI to determine what I might do to improve this watch. I'm also going to use AI to actually show what the cleaning process would be. And that's, I think, what I'm going to first do. Now, taking the back off this watch, I know it's an Illinois pocket watch, and the gentleman who gave this to me to service, he effectively said it's a very nice watch, which he's right. It is, what is it? What is it? Let me see. Can I see this? It is nice. There we go. 17 joules, Springfield, Illinois. It's adjusted. Not sure how many positions, likely 3. There's a double roller on this, which is okay, a little bit of a pain if you have to do work on the roller. And I'm going to see how well this is running on a time grapher, but I'm also going to use AI to determine what the, oh, look at those numbers, upside down, right side up. I'm going to use AI to get the data for this watch so I can be able to see what that is. So that's, what is that? 3810605. Normally I would go to the Pocket Watch database and look that up. So 3810605. So let's just write that number down. What did I say? 810605. Is that correct? Is that correct? 3810605. Yeah, that's so normally, again, I'd go to the Pocket Watch database. We're going to try AI. So Windows 11 installed Copilot. Now I do have a subscription to Microsoft for Word and everything else for work reasons, but let's see if AI does anything for me here. All right, here I am in Copilot, and I'm going to see if I can just ask it what the data is on that watch. So provide data on pocket watch 3810605. And I'm using Copilot in Smart version, and there's all kinds of Think Deeper and all kinds of other stuff, but it should just work with ChatGPT 5.1 Smart version. Let's see what this does. It's thinking now. Here's what I can tell you. So I probably need to tell it the serial number or the type of watch it is. So let's put that in. Illinois. You got to provide it the exact information it needs to script it properly so it can go and look for things and code it and run code to actually get the data. So I told it Illinois. I should have probably said that originally. Illinois Pocket Watch, it's still looking for stuff. It's pretty incredible. So hopefully it comes back with the right information, because I can add the information as I go. I put the serial number in. It is thinking a lot. So you can see it. You can smell the wood burning up here in the corner. So let's pause while it gets the information. So if you look in the bottom, I've asked the question again, and I'm going to see if it comes up faster this time. There we go. All right, Illinois Pocket Watch, serial number, year of production. Let me see if I can zoom in any better on this. that's about it. So just please don't get too upset. But estimated year of production, 1921-22. What we can confirm from the serial number alone. Typical Illinois movement, 3.8 million range. That's how many they made. It's a size 12. I don't know if that's correct. It looks more like a size 16. It says size 12 or 16. Joules, I think it was 17 joules. Nickel, demaskined nickel. So the finish is actually, that's the actual finish of the movement. Pendant set, dress watches, lever set for railroad grades, models, bun special, or whatever I need to know. So anyway, it gets down to a little more detail here. It's not as good as I can see the information that's provided on the pocketwatchdatabase.com. So global gemology. And this is basically a list here on the side of all pocket watch serial numbers from 1872 onward. And let's see if I can find any more information. All right, I took a picture of the watch movement with my camera and I saved it. I'm going to add that watch movement and then ask it again, provide detailed information about this watch movement. All right. Now let's see what it does. It's thanked me. It's looking for this stuff. Look at this. So it's a little bit better. And so 17 joules, pendant set, adjusted, likely 3 positions, double roller. This is all stuff 16. So it is saying it's a size 16 this time. It's a nickel demaskined, I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, 3/4 plate. Possibly a grade 305 or similar, needs to be confirmed. Technical features, 17 joules. It says that it reduces pivot, adjusted, indicates that the watch was calibrated for accuracy to 3 positions, double roller, that's fine, safety feature. Historical content produced, Illinois Watch Company, peak years before being acquired by Hamilton in the late 1920s. I didn't know that actually. 1921 was a prolific year for 16 size watches aimed at both railroad and business professionals. There you go, credibility and value. So this thing is saying it is likely valued typically between $150 and $400 Canadian. So, and those in Canada somehow, depending on the condition of the case, common, blah, blah, gold-filled case, nickel, or rolled gold plate. So this is a gold-filled plate. Would you like help in identifying the case material or estimate its current market value based on the condition? I can guide you through that next. I'll just say yes for the fun of it and see what it wants me to do. Perfect. So it's looking for case markings and it's saying, look for this. And I think it's gold filled. It's telling me what to do here. Check the case color and weight, yellow tone, heavy feel, gold filled, or solid gold. The manufacturer of the case, Wadesworth or Keystone. Let me have a quick look at this. So this is in fact a Wadesworth special, warranted for 14 or 20 years. Usually when they're 20 years, they're 14 karat gold filled. That's from my background. I could tell it the case serial number and see what it does. So that's 5518604. All right, I put the case serial number in here now. Let's see what it tells me. Excellent. It says now we can identify the case itself with a higher degree of confidence. So Wadesworth is one of the largest case manufacturers, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Case serial number range corresponds to 1923 to 1925 era for your Illinois Central movement. It says gold filled 20 years. That's what it was. Or 25. If I took a picture, I would know. Rolled gold. So it's not gold filled. This is rolled gold plated. And it says wage worth 20 years on it. Gold filled. So as opposed to rolled gold, maybe that's the same darn thing, right? So 20-year warranty. That's this Wadsworth case. And there it is, open face, screw back bezel, or hinged. You just have to take a picture of the case itself. And there's a case manufacturer, estimated value of the complete watch. So this is a gold filled, it says 225 to 325. This is in Canadian dollars. So that's interesting. So look at all the information you get off of using AI. This is Microsoft Copilot. Anybody can use it. Now I want to ask it, what would the steps be to actually service this watch? Let's put that in. All right, I've asked it the question. Let's see what it says. What would the steps be to service the watch? Yabba dabba do, full service. So pre-service assessment, check the winding and setting functions, check the amplitude, beat, error, and rate if running, so we can do that. Inspect hands, case, and stem, note any missing screws, cracked jewels or rust. I do that under the stereo microscope. Photograph the movement for reference. This establishes the baseline condition. So I remove the movement from the case, open the bezel, remove the hands, remove the dial screws, lift the dial, unscrew the case screws, lift the movement out of the case, remove the stem if required. They're usually straightforward to separate it from the case. Let down the mainspring. I usually do that before I remove it from the case because the crown and stem are already in there. So hold the crown, release the click, allow the mainspring to unwind. This prevents damage. Disassemble the movement. So you take out the top plate, balance, take out the balance assembly first, which is exactly what I do. Pallet, fork, and bridge, so that ensures that's all safe. And then take away the train bridge, the escape wheel, the fourth wheel, third wheel, center wheel. Then the keyless works, the clutch, the setting lever, the yoke, the springs and screws, the barrel, and then take the barrel and the mainspring apart. And then inspect it all. So you inspect all the components and make sure you don't have pivots that are wear from scoring. Check the jewels for cracks, inspect the gear teeth for damage, check pallet stones for tightness, inspect the balance staff pivots. So this is all the stuff I do. Check roller jewel alignment, inspect hairspring for bends or concentricity issues. It's not concentric. Professional cleaning uses ultrasonic or rotary cleaning. I use a normal cleaning machine myself. I use the horological cleaning solution. I do that. I do a 2-rinse cycle. Absolutely. I do a heated drying cabinet, which is part of the machine itself. So install the new mainspring if you got one. So for watches, the age mainspring it says it must be replaced. Well, I usually look at whether the mainspring is set or not, which means it's bigger than the movement size, or there's other issues with the mainspring. So the Illinois typically is 16 size white alloy mainsprings. Reassemble the gear train, and we'll go through that. Lubricate, so you're lubricating it. This is what I do too. So high-speed pivots for the balance, I use 9010. I use HP 1300 for the slower pivots, which are the center wheel and the intermediate wheel. And then use Mobius 9415 for the pallet stones. And guess what? I use 9415 for the pallet stones. This is really good. And then Mobius 8200 for the mainspring barrel. That's a grease for the barrel. Proper oiling is critical. This is kind of cool because I didn't know it would actually recommend 9415 for the pallet stones. Excellent. Install the escapement. Install the pallet fork in the bridge, oil the pallet stones, install the balance assembly, check for proper lock and drop. That's of the pallet fork, verify the impulse jewel alignment. I got to check and see if the impulse jewel is actually loose or not. And then adjustments, temperature, isochronism, and 3 positions up and down, so I can do that, I'll regulate the bead error to get it as close to 0 as possible. Make sure that the hairspring is centered over the balance cock. This is what I'm going to do. Adjust the regulator pins if needed. I don't think I need to, but usually you don't, but we'll see. And then fine tune the rate for each position. Align the hour wheel and cannon pinion. Install the dial, install the hands without touching the dial surface. Clean the case. Install the movement, secure the case. Check the stem engagement. Final testing. Let it run for 24 to 72 hours, right? And you can do a timing test, let it run, power reserve test, functional timing, shock test. You can tap it lightly, but I don't recommend, you don't need to do a shock test on it. Setting and winding test. And then if you want, I can also outline the tools required. So let's get it to outline the tools. What tools are needed? And here are the tools that you need to actually do this job. Screwdrivers, obvious. Tweezers, obvious. A lot of data behind it. Movement holder. I use the third hand, the Myers number 58. Loop. I've got lots of that. Hand removers, got those. Hand press for reinstalling hands. I have that. Case knife for snapback. I don't need that because it's a screw back. Parts trays, I have tons of those. Rodico I use, and pegwood. So all that is needed. Then you need ultrasonic cleaner. I have a cleaning machine, so I don't need that. I do have a big ultrasonic cleaner, but I don't like putting the pocket watch in an ultrasonic cleaner. There's the cleaning solutions. I use the L&R cleaning solution, but I have Zenith as well, but I use the L&R cleaning solution. And there are the oils that we talked about earlier. And I do have mainspring winders to wind it back in, but sometimes you have to do this by hand. And I'll ask the owner whether they want me to get a new mainspring. Specialized tools. So I do have hairspring tweezers. I do have a collet tool for basically adjusting the collet squeeze onto the bounce, onto the actual bounce, the rim of the balance. So I do have the collet tool. Balance tack, I have that for holding the balance on the balance cock. So it's, while you're working on the watch. Timing machines, I got one of those. Pithwood, I have that. Jeweling machine I have to replace any cracked jewels. I've got Seats jeweling machine. And then optionally, I have dust blowers, dial protectors. I have all this stuff. Demagnetizer, I have a very good one button press demagnetizer. I do have ultrasonic baskets, but I use my cleaning machine, small baskets, and I have pin vices for all that work. So there you go. Now I'm going to ask, how much time does it take and how much should I charge? All right, let's see how accurate I am there. So how much time does it take for a full service and how much should I charge? See what it says. It should be interesting. Realistic breakdown. So it's giving me the time. So you're looking at bench time from 3.5 to 5 hours. And I've spent a lot more time when you get problems. And it's showing you the relative times for each one of these tasks. And it's saying standard service, clean, oil and adjust is 180 to 260 Canadian. So I usually charge $200. I don't do this for making money. So it's just to cover the cost of the tools and the oils and everything else. So that's about right. 180 to 260, depending on how much of a pain this is. That's a standard service. So with a new mainspring, you're looking at another, usually $40 because I buy them from cousins.uk. If balance work is needed, you need 40 to 120. If you actually have to make a balance staff, that's a lot more money. If you can't find one, if you have to punch one, it's not too bad. And then adjustments would be anywhere from 40 to 80. So I've had some Franken watches over the years that have taken me a lot of work to get going again. And that includes the tear down, the cleaning, the mainspring, the lubrication, 48-hour testing. So these positions, this positions you as not the cheapest, not overpaid, offering professional grade work at a proper price. So a service invoice template for your business, I could say, yeah, generate one of those for me, just for the heck of it. Now, people are assuming this is a business. Well, it's not a business. I basically do a few watches a year. I do a lot of work for friends as well, and that kind of puts me in the negative. And the joke is, how do you get rich fixing watches? How do you make $1 million fixing watches? Well, you start with $1 billion. So let me see if it generates a service template for me. And there we go. Business name, watch repair restoration, city, postal code, service invoice number, client information. And you can ask for it. There's a template there. And I can get it to convert that into a Word document. Let's see if that does that. There, convert this into a single page Word document. Absolutely. It says I can absolutely format your invoice, and you could even do it in PDF, I imagine, but there we go. So it's there it is formatted. Now this should be able to give me a Word output. It's telling me to copy it. So I can generate the matching one-page service report or warranty card. So your paperwork looks consistent and professional. I'll just say yes to this. This is all AI, folks. So great. Paste this into Word. It's saying just paste it into Word and do what you want to do. And I'm going to ask it to prepare a Word file. A Word. Let's see if it does that for me. It may not. It's saying it can help me. It says copy and paste it into Word again. Well, I can get this normally for work to create a Word file. It is pretty comprehensive though when you look at this, right? So if you look at the warranty, this watch is covered by a 6-month service warranty beginning on the service date, covers workmanship defects, lubrication failure, and mechanical issues directly related to the service performed. The warranty does not cover shock or impact damage, water or moisture exposure, magnetization, rust or corrosion, damage caused by opening the case, that's the owner, or non-service related component failure. So that's pretty cool. Now I want that. You can copy that and throw it into a doc file, but can you prepare a PDF file? It says it can help me, but I don't know if it's going to create the PDF file. It wants the logo and all sorts of other crap. So format it with business name, your address, your logo, and blah, blah. Tell me what you want, what style. So I'm just going to make some stuff up here. So it's Joe Blow Watch Repair, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, Fix It Lane, Lane, Lain. I am a shitty speller. Fix It Lane. It's got to be any. Fix It Lane. Let's say Ottawa, Canada. That's good enough. Helvetica. I probably spelt that wrong, but let's see what happens here. Here you go. Again, it's telling me to copy this stuff. So Joe Bowflix at Lane did a phone number, email. Yeah, so this version of Copilot is not producing the document for me where I've got other versions that do. But there you go. There's the example. So I think that's good enough for now. I just wanted to show you exactly how well this AI works for watch repair. I think I'll put in the also put in a scan of the actual time grapher picture and see if it can tell me what it thinks the problem is. All right, here we go. There's the watch there in the foreground. And I'm just going to turn on my timing device and press the button and see what it picks up. And it looks like this watch is this is a 1900. It's a better one than the 1000, the Witchy 1000. This is a Witchy 1900. I can talk when it's doing this, but there you go. That's a little bit better. So it looks like it's saying the amplitude is 252, which is good. The beat error is really high. And the rate is terrible, 175. So I could adjust the rate and then see what it does. But I'll just leave it like this. But it's not snow, which is good because before this thing was producing snow. And I'll look at this then and take a picture of this. So I'm going to use my phone to take a picture because I want to be able to upload this into AI and say, "Okay, Passaquatchie, what's happening?" So this does establish the baseline for this particular watch, and I'll use that as a baseline to see if I can improve the beat error. The amplitude is actually really good right now, but can I improve the beat error? And I likely want to do it in the laying down position and the pennant up position, as opposed to all five, because these old watches is very difficult to get them to run perfectly in all five positions. All right, there's a trace from the picture I took. Let's see what AI does for this trace. So what I can do is ask it to do what I asked it to do before. So I can take this information here and just copy that and then paste it down here and give it the instructions again and see what it says. Organizing my thoughts. So there's the data. Good. Very healthy in dial up or whatever position this is in. That was in dial down. Actually, beat error is 5.1, extremely high. Escapement is badly out of beat. Beat's fine. The lift angle is 52. So for anybody out there. So the big story here is a strong amplitude with a terrible beat error and a large negative rate. Scattered line values shows this rate is unstable but consistently slow. That's if the rate is the minus 175, and this is what it's saying the rate is. So the rate is negative, but the amplitude is very good, which is excellent. So it says amplitude. This is actually a very good amplitude. Power delivery through the mainspring and everything is strong. That means I probably don't have to deal with the mainspring. Is likely okay, or at least serviceable. The train friction is not catastrophic, which is excellent. The beat error. This is way out of accepted range. You generally want it less than 1 milliseconds. Ideally, less than 0.5 if you can get there. A large beat error increases the potential rate variation and wastes amplitude. So there you go. So the amplitude is high. The rate should be much closer to neutral. The large beat error is likely poor, blah, blah, blah. Large beat error, likely poor regulator hairspring setup in the main suspects. So assuming the movement is serviced, overall mechanically strong, poorly adjusted, blah, blah, blah. Likely causes, impulse jewel not centered relative to banking pins. So that's just correcting the beat error. And then hairspring collet rotated on the balance staff. So it's out of center. So you got to do that when you fix the beat error. Regulator, I can fix the regulator, but it's kind of in the middle right now. So if I fix the beat error, I'd like the regulator pin to be in the middle. And hopefully when I fix the beat error problem, it's not going to cause that regulator pin to go over on one side or the other to fix the problem. Possibly the wrong effective hairspring length. So that's just changing the pins, the regulator pins, to slide them left or right, or clockwise or counterclockwise to adjust it. Recommended solution. So put the watch in beat, blah, blah, adjust the hairspring collet. Yeah, I can do that. Aim for 0.5. That's tough, but doable. and recheck the amplitude afterward, regulate the rate. That's not a problem. If the regulator has to be pushed to the extreme, check that the hairspring is correctly pinned at the collet and stud. Verify that no one shortened the hairspring improperly. Okay, I've done that before. I'd rather not have to add weights and stuff to the actual balance, but you could confirm the hairspring geometry. The coils are flat and concentric. Sometimes they're dirty too and they're stuck together, but the amplitude is so good, I'd say the hairspring is working well because of that. If the curb pins are close enough to control the spring but not pinching it, so these are the regulator pins. So I got to make sure that the distance between the regulator pins is optimal. Verify positional performance, I'll do that. Target should be amplitude between 250 and 300. That's correct. Rate should be plus or minus 20 seconds a day or better. I can usually do better than that. Beat error is tricky, but I can probably get it close to that. And the trace needs to be clean and nearly horizontal lines with minimal scatter. So that's it. So that's the analysis. That's all done by AI without me doing anything. It gave me advice. It told me what to do. It told me the servicing required. It's just phenomenal. So I recommend for all you watchmakers out there, jump into AI, learn how to use it properly, and basically follow the advice it's giving you, because it's going to the world and it's pulling in all the information from all those books and everything else you have and giving you a concise version of this. So I'm JD. Thanks for watching my channel. I really love making these videos. I hope you learned something today from this. I'm going to call it Watchmaking and AI. And just before I end this, I shout out to Wayne. This is Wayne's watch. I'm not using last names, but we're going to dig into this watch, disassemble it, and clean it and start the process of getting this thing working a little bit better. So thanks for watching my channel, Wayne, and I'll chat with you later.